Oh, not again. I'm really worried this time.
I bought something, Mrs. Wizard.
Oh no, not again.
And it's already broken. It actually broke right after I bought it. Some more things broke.
Are you serious? It says on the window there, won't shift into gear, only neutral.
Yes, it's very broken.
Very broken. And let me guess, this is a Hoopty?
Yes. Let me turn it off so it doesn't sit here and run down. That's right. If you just watched Hoovies' garage video where he purchased a 2014 Fiat 500e, which it is a true EV, not a hybrid. He bought it. He gave up on it. There was so much wrong with it. He foresaw that he could put thousands and thousands into it just to get it going. Absolutely not worth it. And if you also watched the video you saw at the end, I took it off his hands. Sorry, Mrs. Wizard, I didn't contact you first, but this is a really good deal.
I guess.
It has roughly only 40,000 miles on it. And the battery system has lots of errors. I'll show you the codes here in a little bit, but let's take a look around and see what I got. It looks like an Easter egg, Mrs. Wizard.
I think it is going to be full of surprises.
It definitely already is. I sent a picture of this to our daughter and she loved it.
Really? She saw it before I did?
Yeah, sorry. But you can see it's in pretty good shape. Like I said, it only has 40,000 miles on it. It's not going to be beat up or rusted out or in really bad shape. But it is a pearl kind of a white color. It doesn't have any broken tail lights or broken pieces or anything on moldings and things like that. So that, as far as that's concerned, I think we did really good. We're going to jump into the interior and let Mrs. Wizard show you guys around and you can see what broke on us.
So here we are, my first look in here too with you guys. 43,691 miles and says it has a range of 125. And definitely feels 91 degrees in here. Whew. Does say charge now. Oh, that scares me a lot. But as we look, we can see a nice, very, well, simple gauge cluster 1. That's all there is. There's just one little guy in here. But if we move up, we have a nice dash. Oh, they gave us a tom-tom. I guess we won't get lost. But as we move around, it does have the nice charcoal, and then it goes down to kind of a matte, kind of a pearl. I know that kind of seems counterintuitive, but it is kind of iridescent. And it does say 500e over there. Radio is in, well, I guess an easy to control spot. So we've got our stability control, hazard lights, and our defrost buttons beneath that. And down just a little bit further, we can see we have more controls for HVAC and things like that. Window controls are also in this center section with a very large, well, I guess maybe that whole big circle would have been where you would have had a manual transmission boot, but they just put the 4 buttons there. I don't know. We move down, have a cup holder, have 2 separate seats with a nice little e-brake in the center. They do come with armrests and some nice red stitching on the side of the seats with adjustable headrest. And while that might look like perforated leather, it is not. Those are just well printed dots. It does have a nice little red streak here in the center. We look at our door card, nice charcoal again. Nothing fabulous, nothing too crazy going on. Just got the handle and, well, the door release, that's it. Well, in the back seat we have, well, I guess this is going to be part of the door. I'll show you the driver's side door in just a second. It's not looking so great over there, but got tiny little headrests. I like how they are, looks like they're adjustable. They're in the down position right now, and it looks like a very, 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 very tiny little cargo area back there. I don't know if we can see it, but it's very minuscule. And as promised, here is our door card for the driver's side. Well, I guess it's a little more challenging to get in and out of this side since there's no handles, door releases, all that, because it was on the door card itself. But Wizard has some explaining to do for sure. So here we are back at our steering wheel. Have a nice section here with our Fiat logo in the center. We've got controls for our cruise, got controls for the phone, other little things such as that, but simple controls that we're kind of used to in most modern cars today. So enough of this interior talk. I want to hear what Wizard has to say about this latest purchase of his.
So I just bought it from Hoovie. He left, he went on to do his things, whatever he's doing, buying who knows what. I was going to move it into the shop. I went to roll down the window. I haven't even had it for 10 minutes and something else broke. The window just went shoo. So the regulator's broken. I have a new one on order. We'll get that fixed. But that's not the reason why this was sold so cheap to Hoovie. I think he paid $700 for it, but he did have a large shipping fee to get it. Let's go ahead and take a look under the hood. So it looks like we could possibly see an engine here until we take this little panel off. And it's most Americans' worst nightmare. Nothing but computer modules and wires. Most people would look at this and sing that song we've seen on YouTube, hell no, to the no, no, no. They'd be like, no, I'm not even going there. There's lots of parts under here that are control modules, inverters, things like that, but there's a lot of things that are just common on any car. Gas, electric, doesn't matter. Like right here, I have a brake master cylinder. That hasn't changed. Here's a control module, probably powertrain control module. That hasn't changed. Here's a relay box with relays in it. Same as you would find on a gas car. Even a 12-volt battery. Yes, to run the 12-volt systems, like lights and things. Here's our big inverter, and it is a huge electronic piece. That would scare a lot of people. Then we have two coolant systems, one for the electronics and one for the battery, the actual battery pack. And standard air conditioning ports. It has an electronic air conditioner. It doesn't have a belt or anything to it, but charging it and the refrigerant is all the same. So if you break down and you open the hood, it is intimidating, but there is a lot under here that's just standard automotive parts. One exciting thing, and we'll go in depth here in a little bit about what I've found is wrong with the drive system or the battery system. And it's not as bad as I thought it would be. These usually came in 24 kilowatt or 42 kilowatt, which is the amount of range you're going to have, how big the battery pack is. And me and Hoovie are under the assumption it's a 24 kilowatt, the low end, and 80 miles, 70 miles is usually the max you're ever going to see. But just as you saw, Mrs. Wizard had you guys in the interior, it showed 125 mile range, and I did some checking. This is the larger battery, the 42 kilowatt. I'm very excited about that. Let's get this thing on the lift. We're going to have to remove the battery pack, which will be in a future video. What do you even do to get the battery pack down? Let's go take a look. So we're going to work our way from the front to back, and you're going to see that there's tons of things on this vehicle that are just standard that you would find on a gas car. Let's start up here at the front. Oh look, radiator fans, and a radiator, and radiator hoses. Yep, those are still there. Still have to cool things. But right here we can see our AC compressor. It doesn't have a belt or a clutch on it. It has an electric motor with power going to it right here. So when you turn on your AC, you can literally hear it buzz to life, bzzz, like that. So with any electric vehicle, one of the things, actually there's several things that can severely kill your range, is turning on the AC. It takes a lot of power to run that. Also your heater, that takes a lot of power as well. So it's definitely one of those things, if you have say 150 mile range, you turn on your AC, now you have 105 mile range. It dropped just like that. I don't know if it's that bad with gas cars or not. If you turn on the AC, do you lose that much range? No one ever pays attention, so I don't know. And talking about heat, with a gas car, heat is already there. It's a byproduct. So you just siphon coolant off the engine, run it through a heater core, you have heat all day long. But these don't produce enough heat to heat the cabin, really. So you have to produce your own heat, usually with electric heating coils, and it just sucks the battery down. So it's kind of unfortunate, but that's the way it works. So in place of our engine, we have this Bosch Giant. I think it's 100 horsepower, 80, 90, 100, I'm not sure the exact amount. You guys can let us know in the comments. This is our engine now. But it does go into a small little transmission, a little, I guess you call it a transfer case or something. And it has CV shafts, just like your gas car. It goes out to either wheel, and pretty much everything's the same from there. We have brake rotors, brake calipers, CV boots, steering. We have tie rod ends. All that stuff's the same. But as we start walking back is where things change. We don't have a floor pan anymore. We have 600 pounds of batteries. here floating above my head. This entire rectangle, all the way even above, back here above the rear axle, is all batteries. 400 volts worth of batteries. That's why you see warning labels everywhere. You can literally electrocute yourself to the moon and back. So they definitely want you to be careful with that. So how do you get this thing down if you need to work on it? You need to replace cells or electronics inside the battery pack. Well, on these, this entire rear axle has to come off because the battery saddles over the top of this beam here. This is basically your rear axle, if you want to call it that. You have to take the whole thing off before you can get the battery out, and then when you do that, there's big bolts like this all along here, and you definitely want a hydraulic table or a scissor lift or small something to drop this down. Don't do it at home on jack stands, guys. This thing falls on you. It could really crush your bones. It's really heavy. That's something Danielson's going to be diving in soon. Let's get this thing on the ground and talk about what is wrong with it. If you take a look at this picture, these are some of the codes that we saw when Hoovie first brought it here. A lot of issues it had was just a humidity sensor, which is a very common issue on these Fiats, even the gas-powered ones. We replaced it and brought a lot of things back online, and a lot of error codes went away, but those codes I just showed you did not. This is fully charged. It's showing 125 miles. It should be closer to 160, 180, possibly 200. I mean, it does have age on it and some miles. I actually contacted someone that I found through a forum, a Fiat 500e forum. They're actually in Eastern Europe. They're the only outfit in town that's rebuilding what's wrong with this thing. There is an electronic module called the battery pack control module. And here's a picture of what it looks like. And here's another picture of what you have to do to get to it. It's inside that big battery pack I just showed you. It has to come down. I sent these codes to this company and said, what are you seeing here? What do you think? They said, absolutely, your battery pack control module is failing. Probably a quarter of the cells inside the battery pack aren't even being charged properly. That's why we're not seeing the range we should. He said, go ahead and send it to us. It's $800, and we'll go through it and fix the processor and several things that commonly go wrong with these. You'll get it back in a week or two. He said, then you need to balance all your cells, and once you do that, you'll be back in business. You'll have a fully functioning, happy little Fiat 500e again. Again, I'm very excited about the fact that this has the larger capacity battery pack. I don't have to upgrade or do anything crazy. Once that control module is repaired, I'm very likely thinking we're going to see 180 miles, 175, somewhere around in their range. That's really pretty good. We could go to Wichita and back in it and not have range anxiety. I got this from Hoovie for $2,000. And if I can fix it for another $1,000, obviously I'm going to have labor with Danielson pulling the battery pack. I'll have a fully sorted 500e. Also, don't forget about the window regulator. These go for $5,000 or $6,000, sometimes more if it's really nice with perfect working systems. I'll be under that and have a really happy little car. So this is the official antithesis to my 2019 Dodge Charger Scat Pack, which regularly gets 14 or 15 miles per gallon around town, sometimes less if I'm lead-footed. This will be the opposite of that. It very likely could be I could drive this back and forth to work. I don't even have to go to the gas station anymore. After we finished filming this with Hoovie, from Hoovie's garage obviously, he mentioned to me, Wizard, I don't even know what I'm going to do with this thing. I don't want to dump anything more than $1,000 or more. I don't even want to go there with this car. I'm not interested. I just don't have interest. I said, I get it, because we could try to take it apart and fix a few things on it. You're still going to have $2,000 or $3,000 into parts, repair bills, labor pulling the battery pack apart. He was like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that. And with his Fisker issues and some of the things with his Tesla Cybertruck, he's just like, I'm not feeling this whole EV thing right now on this particular vehicle. I'm just not feeling it. I said, hey, you're $1,700 into it with shipping and buying it and everything. How about $2,000? You make $300. And I'll take the gamble here. And as we can see, as we're looking into this, the gamble actually may be paying off for me. I could have lost everything, the battery pack shelled, and it could cost $7 grand for a rebuilt one. But it's looking really good. Not only can I rebuild the battery pack control module and bring it back online, but it has the larger capacity pack on it, the 42 kilowatt hour. And Mrs. Wizard doesn't seem like she's going to kill me at this moment.
Well, maybe not yet.
So, thankful for that. Also, it's her birthday today. Happy birthday, Mrs. Wizard.
Oh, thank you, dear.
You guys can guess in the comments how old she is. Let us know what you think. So if you're curious what kind of tools we're going to use to work on this or any other cars in the shop, check our Amazon affiliates link in the description below. A lot of the tools we use in the shop are listed for sale there. If we purchase anything, we get a small cut. We really appreciate it. And make sure to hit the subscribe button because you want to keep up with what's going on with this if we find true success or not. So hit the subscribe button, guys, and thanks for watching.